This is Farmer's Diary.
Nigeria, with an increasing population growth, has been projected to have food insecurity in the days ahead. Experts posit that several factors have been responsible for this looming danger, ranging from aging farmers, poor yield due to insect infestations and diseases, poor soil fertility, youth's non-interest in farming because of the old and crude methods of farming available, using hoes and cutlasses, and many more. However, the Director General of the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, is optimistic that a team of Nigerian scientists at NABDA can change the narrative. Professor Mustafa explained that NABDA, as a full research institute, has made concerted efforts to improve on several conventional crop varieties, which so far, for those released, the testimonies from farmers of the positive result of improved yield shows that it can help Nigeria surmount the challenges of food insecurity.
We have beans. These beans, which is about, I think, most of I think across the country, if you look at it, everybody eats it. Very well. It's our local food. I think people eat it either 50-50 with rice or even more than rice, because you can make it into so many type of food. So these beans, previously, people were not getting it enough. They were going to other countries like Niger, they are going to other countries like Ghana to import the beans. Why? Because we cannot be able to produce adequate quantity that our people need. Now that the beans has been, the beans has been, what can I call it, improved. Improved in the sense that the yield has improved, the quality has been improved, and then the diseases that are weakening the production of the beans has also been taken care of with biotechnology. And now this biotechnology has solved the problem that farmers over 50 years have been crying about. And I told you, this is why many of our youths are running away from farming, because it's not profitable.
Was not rather.
Yeah, it wasn't, but now, even now, it's only some few that we have worked on that is making it profitable. Up to now, they are running, but now I've told you about the cotton farmers, because we have key in, and they are now happy that they go back to the farm and they're working. And now the beans, people have gone back to the farm. I'm sure what I'm going to tell you is that go and interview the farmers and heard about what has transformed their life about the cultivation of these beans. These beans now, the yield has increased tremendously up to around 78-fold. So there is more money into their account. The loss that they were counting then is no longer there, because the problem has been taken care of. There is one insect that used to eat the pod of the flower, which is maruca. And that insect is what is now bringing the loss of the yield that is being produced by the bean. When the pod is grown, the maruca eats the pod and then it falls, and there is no seed that is being produced. And that is what is being taken care of using biotechnology. And as it is now, the maruca is no longer a problem, and people are rushing to go back to the farm, and they are very much happy. And recently we have done a program which is called Eating is Believing in this agency. And this Eating is Believing, we call the farmers, and the farmers give testimony. The interest is, what have you seen as a difference between the local variety that you are using and the improved variety that you are now we have now given them.
He excitedly revealed that, aside the intervention in the area of food security, agricultural biotechnology has also led to positive breakthroughs in the area of provision of raw materials in order to revamp the ailing textile industries, as well as several other manufacturing industries which suffered for lack of raw materials.
Imagine that in this country, before we were having many of the cottage industries that spinning industry and then the production of fabric for the usage of the country and even for the export in to the neighboring countries and other countries. We are known for that. We have very prominent industries. But due to the lack of resources, that is the natural raw material that is supposed to be to feed this industry, which is mainly cotton, then everything collapsed. They will import cotton and there is no light, there is no this, no that, and then the farmers were weakened because even if they produce this cotton, there is nobody to buy, so they abandon the farming. But we are glad now to tell Nigerians that we have done quite a lot. We have brought the cotton, and recently, I think about 6 months ago, there was an activity with the Cotton Farmers Association of Nigeria. They cultivated 6,000 hectares in Jos, and they harvested it. And what they found was incredible result. And this has given hope to the farmers. They even come to the agency for more. That's what I keep saying. I hosted them here recently, about a month ago, and what they are looking for, okay, we have seen these 2 varieties that you brought. Now we are looking for more varieties because we want to improve on what you are doing. So this gives us joy that the farmers now have gone back to the farm and they have seen the yield. The yield difference is so enormous. Consider that the farmers were using the local variety to produce about 350 kilograms per hectare. Now they are producing about 2.3 to 3.1 tons per hectare. The huge difference. And this variety of cotton, you can harvest it up to 3 times. You have planted it. It's not that to replant it. No, you harvest it up to 3 times. So it's something that they are very, very happy about. And the strengths and the length of the fiber they are looking for is so important that they have now started exporting it outside the country. That is one aspect, and we have done that. Consider the number of employment that is generated there. Those companies that I told you closed, now they begin to open. They have come back to business. The spinning industry, the fabric industry, all they have come back. So now this, if you look at it, how many jobs have been created and how many wealth have been created. Before we used to go outside, even the dress you are wearing is being produced abroad. Now we are proud to say that some of the fabric that is being produced now is produced in the country. And this is in line with the Mr. President's agenda. We eat what we produce what we eat. And then it's not about eating now, it's about promoting the industries. And we have produced some other commodities using biotechnology. And what we have produced in the environment is the biodigester. Okay. That is produced locally.
What's that?
The biodigester, the one that will produce gas.
Okay.
The bioenergy product, that is the energy that is used in local communities. The biodigester is simple to use, it's simple, it's small, you can, based on your needs, you fabricate it here and then deploy it to your doorstep. We have now developed it and we have entered into partnership with the Rural Electrification Agency and to deploy it to Nigerians. They have seen what we have done and then they key in, and now we have partnered with them for deploying it to the local populace, because we should not always depend on other scientists across the world to be feeding us with something like that. Like local this agriculture, we have to do it ourselves. Sure. So like this science, we have to do it ourselves. So we have done that and they have seen the value in it and they key in. And now that is what we are developing further to deploy it to the rural community so that they use it to produce electricity, to have a cooking gas, and so many of what they need as their energy. That is, and then we have produced starter culture yogurt. That one is something that we import from other countries. And this culture yogurt, starter culture, is a bacterium that is used for the fermentation of yogurt. And this bacterium, they used to import it. And we produce our own. We isolated the bacteria from our own local environment. And this bacteria is very, very effective. It even have an advantage better than the one that is imported. You know, the bacteria that they import from other countries is using a cooling system. You have to cool it. Why? Because where they produce it, the bacteria is acclimatized with cold weather.
Temperature. Okay.
And when you bring it here, you have to keep it at that cold temperature. But the one that we isolated here, it is already acclimatized with the high temperature. So you put your tank outside, no matter what the temperature, the bacteria adapted. And it is very active there. So that is the distinct feature, and it is there, and that I'm using this medium to call on the investors to come and invest in these, our local communities, so that we produce it massively for the these industries that are in the country.
Oh, let me get it clear on that, because I'm sure those who produce yogurt will be interested in this information you just gave now. Sounds like scoop. Are you saying that NABDA cannot deploy this directly to the yogurt producers in the community because they'll be eager to get it? Do companies need to come first partner with you before the yogurt producers?
What I'm saying, we are scientists.
Okay.
We have already found it. We have developed it. It's very ready. So we are waiting for the off-takers to go and do that. We are not commercializing. We have commercializing is just to engage with the stakeholders to come and use it so that they can give it to people.
Okay.
So we are not. If we do that, we cross our boundary to go and do the commercial activities.
So it's expected for some private sector people to also gain from this work you have done.
That is it. That is what I'm saying. So that is why we're calling on them to come and partner with us so that we now deploy it to people for them to use.
Is it an easy procedure for them to just walk into NABDA and then discuss that? Okay.
It is very easy. It's very easy. That is what we want.
Wow.
And that is what is obtained in all other countries. What they are importing is another company that now key in with the researchers in that country to now produce it. And then when it produces, our people go there to buy. So now we have it. We want the companies, the indigenous, to now mass produce it and then give it to our local people. And then we can even export this thing to a neighboring country. We can export it to even the outside country. Those countries that have the weather like us, they're very welcome.
Concerned about the plight of the farmers, the NABDA DG assured that the agency will continue to carry out more scientific research to provide the best, safe varieties of crops to ensure farmers get improved yield in order to increase their income and livelihood, thereby encouraging the youths to also regain interest in farming, a situation he is certain will prove the hypothesis of looming food shortage in Nigeria wrong.
I would like to say that farmers, you have seen what we have done with cotton. You have seen what we have done with beans. You are anxiously waiting for maize. You are anxiously waiting for rice. We will continue to do more. Apart from those, we are working on soybean. Apart from that, we'll now employ some other cereal and some other crops to give them more so that they will smile more, so that they will try as much as possible to see that they have removed all sort of threat from the statistic of the World Food Organization? That is, yes,
Food and Agriculture Organization.
Yes, what they were saying that Nigeria is facing these diseases.
In fact, they posited Nigeria with over millions of Nigerians will face hunger before.
We are working tirelessly, and we are assuring these farmers that soon they will prove this insinuation wrong.
Wonderful. Using the modern biotechnology.
Of course, that is biotechnology is the answer. research activity is not about one single person to say that I have done that. No, it's a consortium. NABDA is involved.
Okay.
Institute for Agricultural Research, Zaria is involved. African Agricultural Technology Foundation is involved. United States Development Agriculture Development is involved. There are many.
The Seed Council, which are
Seed Council. So there are many that put hand on deck to produce these in the country.
And we understand it takes a long time for this process to take years.
It takes about 11, 12 years. I have not mentioned even biosafety, because without biosafety, everything could not be possible.
But just as he has said, this laudable initiative is as a result of collective efforts from various relevant stakeholders, one of which is the National Biosafety Management Agency, NBMA, whose duty it is to regulate and ensure the safety of the various components of the technology for human consumption and to the environment. As such, in our quest to always keep you informed, educated and enlightened in order to make informed and best choices, we will bring you the views of the NBMA in our next edition of Farmer's Diary here on ZTTV. Thanks for watching.
This is Farmer's Diary.